Hey, good morning. And we start today with some gnat sound as Frankie is having his breakfast. Because Frankie don't care. Hey there, everybody. Please don't romp or roam. Happy Saturday to you from Radically Rational and RadicallyRational.com. This has been one interesting NFL draft so far. So here we are, 2 days in, 102 picks, 3 rounds. I know the math doesn't add up, but it's because of all those compensatory picks. And have you ever seen so many trades in an NFL draft? There is intrigue abundant, just all over the place. You don't really think I'm going to give a team a letter grade, do you? I mean, that's ridiculous. You want a letter grade? Check back with me in, 3 years or so. But I will say this. The Seahawks and the Eagles have certainly gotten my attention. The Seahawks addressed a wide range of needs yesterday, and they're already a pretty good young team. And then the Eagles, they just appear absolutely wonder-touched. You know, on Thursday, they get those 2 Georgia defensive studs, Jalen Carter and Nolan Smith. And then yesterday, they get Bama offensive lineman Tyler Steen. It's like the Eagles and their general manager, Howie Rosenberg, are just on fire. The Texans, they've handled their business well, to say the least. You know, we weren't 45 minutes deep in the party in Kansas City on Thursday night before they had both Will Anderson and C.J. Stroud in the stable on consecutive picks. And Friday ended up being pretty productive as well, because yesterday the Texans got Penn State offensive guard Juice Scruggs. He will be a day 1 starter for the Texans. And then they got mini receiver. Yeah, he gets to stay right there in Houston. Mini receiver. He's 5'8", 165, but he also is hyper productive. 18 touchdowns in 13 starts last year. I'm talking about a guy named Tank Dell. That's a mini tank for sure, but that's a good pickup for the Texans. And let me say this. People are going to stop laughing at the Texans. They have a chance to get pretty good pretty quick. As for the Cowboys, I'm perfectly good. And think about this. Our Texas teams have kind of reversed their usual roles. This time it's the Texans going for the glitz, and the Cowboys have been all about the grit. We were talking about this yesterday, that first round selection, former Michigan run stopper Mazi Smith. I think that was well worth a first round pick. It's not very sexy, but that defense couldn't stop the run last year. And in the NFC East, you have to have a run stopper. So that was a good day. And then yesterday, we all assumed the Cowboys were going to dip into that deep tight end pool, and they did. Another Wolverine, a physical inline blocker, Luke Schoonmaker. Now look, he's not much of a receiver downfield, but they've got other guys in the room there. He will be a very productive special teamer, and that dude can block. And then the boys closed out Friday night by taking Longhorn linebacker DeMarvion Overshown. I didn't have quite as much trouble with that name as Drew Pearson did last night. Anyway, with the 90th overall selection, he will have an immediate impact on special teams, and I think he may be the heir apparent as a starter in place of Leighton Vander Esch starting in 2024. Okay, only a sadist would have enjoyed watching former Kentucky quarterback Will Levis twist in the wind Thursday night. That was horrible. So I'm glad he only had to wait 2 picks last night. And this could end up being a very good situation for him, because he's going to Tennessee with the Titans. He can learn from Tannehill for a year. He may come out smelling like a rose here, and I'm pulling for him. But I tell you who's really looking good. Former Tennessee quarterback Hendon Hooker. He could not find himself in a better situation. He's going to the Lions. He can take a redshirt year as he's coming off that ACL surgery. Frankie's still enjoying his breakfast here. He's not going to have to hit a lick next year. He can just sit there and watch, and keep in mind that really Jared Goff played great for the Lions last year, and there's no reason to think that he won't this year again. On the other hand, after this year, the Lions have a chance to get out from under his enormous contract, and Hooker will be right there. And I've told you before, my guess is of all the quarterbacks in this class, Hendon Hooker is going to be the best NFL quarterback. Couple of other notes here. That was a slick move by the Giants. They pulled off a 3rd-round trade with the Rams. They got that slick Tennessee wide receiver, Jalen Hyatt. That'll give them some punch downfield, and they really need that. The Rams didn't even have a pick until the 36th overall selection, but they got a good one. Watch this guy a long time. Former TCU offensive lineman Steve Avila. He can play all 5 offensive line positions. As much as it pains me to say something nice about an SMU guy, former SMU receiver Rashee Rice, a very good fit for Andy Reid's and Mendiola's Chiefs. And I loved the Dolphins' 3rd round selection of Aggie running back Devon Achane. Oh man, he has 4.32 speed. Now he's a track guy, he's on the track team. I don't think he's going to be able to take a big pounding as a workhorse running back, but as a change of pace and as a kick returner, he will add to that sprint relay team that's going on in Miami. And the Dolphins head coach, Mike McDaniel, will know exactly how to use him. Okay, a couple of other sports notes. Looked like the Memphis Grizzlies talked a little bit too soon, don't you think? And that's going to be a fascinating Game 7 between the Warriors and the Kings. And the Phillies, dadgummit, took the opener of that weekend series in a rematch of last year's World Series teams. We'll get that turned around. Let's have a great Saturday. Thank you for watching and reading. Go to radicallyrational.com. Have a good one.